The Western Hemisphere service of the Voice of Zion, in cooperation with this station, presents Vistas of Israel. On the eastern shore of the Mediterranean, between historic Galilee in the north and the Red Sea in the south, the people of Israel have gathered to recreate their ancient homeland. On this program, you'll hear transcribed Israel's songs and symphonies, and from her cities and villages, the authentic voices of her people. In all lands, in all ages, people have sung of the places they've loved and the places where they've known love. These songs carry a universal spell. The Scotsman's bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond seem familiar to us, and Swanee River awakens an echo in the hearts of people all over the world. The most beautiful of all these love songs was first sung long ago on the Israel coast, in the Vale of Sharon, with its carpet of roses and lilies. The lovers sang of rising early in the morning and going from village to village to see if the vines had budded. Today in Israel, you might leave the paved road and walk across a field covered with frail red flowers, the roses of Sharon. You might turn into an orange grove with the low branches thick around you and the air laden with the scent of oranges and lemons. You might notice a pair of shadowy figures wandering in the grove and hear a voice.
My beloved spoke and said unto me, Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. The fig tree putteth forth his green figs, and the vines in blossom give forth their fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. O my dove, that art in the cleft of the rocks, in the hidden places of the cliff, show me thy face, and let me hear thy voice, for thy voice is sweet, and thy face is comely.
Is it a springtime song of human love? Or is it a religious allegory of mankind seeking to see the face of the Lord? The words of the Song of Songs, or Hasirim, are over 3,000 years old, and they're sung in melodies that come to us from time immemorial. The same words again are given new melodies by Israel's composers of today, for Hebrew is once more the day-to-day language of that land. And artists in other lands have been inspired too by the Song of Songs. Each line has become a poem, a play, a novel. We have only to think of recent American works, The Little Foxes, The Voice of the Turtle. Verses from the Hasirim have inspired liturgical music by some of the world's most gifted composers. The Song of Songs is often read on Sabbath Eve, and it's recited on the Jewish Passover, which comes in the spring. What, then, is the origin and meaning of this mysterious love poem of the Bible? Is it a vestige, as some scholars believe, of some ancient rites of spring? Or was it really composed by Solomon? It is a love song so beautiful that it seems to be the divine song of life itself, of love that brings renewal of life each springtime. Some find in it a story. A beautiful shepherdess, abducted and brought to the court of King Solomon, sings so touchingly of her faithful love for her shepherd swain that King Solomon gives her freedom to return home to her true love. In our first melody, the maidens in the court may be questioning her. What is thy beloved more than another beloved, O thou fairest of women? And she replies,
My beloved is pure and ruddy, greater than 10,000. His mouth is most sweet. Yea, he is altogether lovely. Dodi-li, my beloved, is mine.
Whether as an allegory of religious faith or as an ancient folk song that has attained this meaning, the beauty of the Song of Songs is universal and eternal. There is still another explanation for this strange poem. In remote Arab villages, even in modern times, scholars came upon a form of wedding ceremony that lasted for 7 days, corresponding to the 7 parts of the Song of Songs, and indeed to the 7 days of the Passover festival. In this wedding custom, bride and groom are seated amongst a profusion of blossoms and fruits. Their throne is the threshing floor, and they are served by the maidens of the village who sing and dance before them, for during the marriage feast they play the roles of king and queen. Sometimes they take their turns in song and in the dance. The ancient songs praise the beauty of bride and groom with words from the Song of Songs. And during the ceremony, as in many marriage festivals, bride and groom pretend to hide or run away, and there is teasing. Whither is thy beloved gone? Sing the maidens, O thou fairest among women. Whither is thy beloved turned aside that we may seek him with thee? And the bride, sure of her love, sings,
My beloved is gone down into his garden, to the beds of spices, to feed in the gardens, and to gather the lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He feedeth among the lilies.
Anna halach todech, a verse from the Song of Songs, played by the Kol Israel Orchestra and sung by Naomi Tsuri. We turn now to another passage from the Song of Songs, El Ginat Egoz. In this passage, the young girl expresses her love for both the shepherd boy and the land which they share together, saying,
I went down into the garden of nuts to look at the green plants of the valley, to see whether the vine budded and the pomegranates were in flower. Come, my beloved, let us go into the field. Let us lodge in the villages. Let us get up early to the vineyards. Let us see whether the vine hath budded, whether the vine blossom be opened. Awake, O north wind, and come thou south. Blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden and eat his precious fruits.
Some even say that the Song of Songs is a recital of a dream. I sleep, but my heart waketh. And indeed the mystery of the entire poem seems to be answered when it's read as a dream or a vision. Others say the Haširim is a collection of love songs made for King Solomon, but even the title explains this, the Song of Songs. But beauty needs no logic. Whatever the origin of these poems, they bring us love that is both passionate and spiritual. And in Israel itself, these verses have no mystery, for they still seem to spring from everyday life. It is still the loveliest of things for young people to rise early in the spring and wander together, to lodge in the villages, to see whether the vines have budded, to eat of the precious fruit. And as they go, they are singing. Our thanks today to Miss Naomi Tsuri, who was heard with the Kol Israel Orchestra under the direction of Sebetאי Pטרושקה. This is Melvin Elliott, inviting you to join us again next week at the same time on this station for another in the series presenting Vistas of Israel.